Thank you for joining us tonight for our program leaders meeting. I'm Michelle Merritt, the National Venturing President.
And I'm Forrest Curtin, the National Chief of the Order of the Arrow.
We'll be your host tonight for this update and also for Jamboree Tonight, presented by Jambo Inc., which broadcasts here each night from 9:30 to 10.
The National Jamboree Program Chairman is Russell Smart. Russell oversees all of the Jamboree program areas and is ably assisted by a number of deputies. Russ Hunsacker is the leader for all Summit Center areas. Gary Schrader oversees Adventure Program. Don Wendell is in charge of the Stadium Experience, and Jeff Jonason leads the Trek and Garden Ground programs. You'll hear from each of them during tonight's broadcast.
I'd now like to introduce Russell Smart and his Chief of Staff, Tony, to get us started.
Go. Hey, hi guys. Glad to see you today. Thank you for being here at the Jamboree. We're off to a great start. It's a Jambo-licious kind of day. I'm glad that you're here, glad that you had a good trip. I hope all of you did. You're here safe and sound. And now, depending on whose numbers we use, we are the second or third largest city in West Virginia. So a shout out for that. Thank you for joining us tonight while your scouts and venturers are doing their welcome event in their base camps. We're here to tell you the latest and greatest news about program. And as she said, joining me is my Chief of Staff, Tony Caskert. A couple of things that are really, really important. It was hot today. I'm sure that comes as no surprise to you because you've been out there putting up your camps, but you must stay hydrated. Drink that water constantly. We have hydration stations, water buffaloes in all of our program areas. Whatever you do, keep drinking that water. Stay hydrated. The other thing is, as you're walking, there's often a temptation to think that the road is a shorter, better way to get from one program area to another program area or from your camp to a program area. It is not. I guarantee you the best way to get there is to take the trails that you'll find on the Summit maps. So stay on the trails and have a much better experience walking around. Plan ahead. Say you're going to do the canopy tour and the barrels. Bad choice. They're in two totally different parts of the summit. So plan your day, help your scouts and venturers plan their day to do activities that are in one area of the summit that day and maybe another area the second day. Great advice to have. And all of this can be found on your Jambo app, the official Jamboree app, powered by AT&T, that you'll hear more about in our telecast tonight. One last thing about program before I start talking with Tony. Rafting. There's been many questions about rafting. If you signed up for the optional rafting program, you got information from me telling you how many slots we think that you signed up for and have paid for. If there's some discrepancy, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We can take care of it. We have a great staff at our rafting area in Delta Base Camp, and if you have an issue, go over and talk to them and they will fix it, straighten it out. If you got here to the Jamboree and you think, gosh, I wish I'd signed up for rafting, you can do that too. Talk to the rafting guys in Delta or talk to the Adventures on the Gorge folks in the gateway area of the Scott Summit Center. All right, Tony, we've had a good day, but I'm sure that there's going to be questions about program constantly during the Jamboree. If I've got a question about something program, how do I get that question answered?
Well, the best way to get the question answered, at least the first one to go to, is the Jamboree app. They took my phone from me, otherwise I would show it to you right now. But the Jamboree app has at least 90% of the questions that we get asked from a program perspective. And so go there first. If you need help with it, find the youngest kid in your troop and he can figure it out for you.
Absolutely, good idea. What about, I get my questions answered, but then I got a problem. We think everything's going to go right, but something's going to not work out the way we thought. So I got a problem. Then what do I do?
Well, if you have a problem or just some unique information that we didn't put in the app, the best way to get that solved is that each subcamp has a program liaison. So if you go to that program liaison, go to your subcamp headquarters, they can tell you who that is. That person has been trained and should know how to answer your questions. If it's a really weird question, maybe they don't know the answer. Well, one of our program staff from headquarters is situated in each base camp. And so they can go to that base camp person and they should definitely know the answer. But in that really rare event where they don't know the question, they will call me. and if they call me, I will get you the answer. Our goal is that nobody waits longer than an hour for an answer to a program question.
Fantastic. Now, if all else fails, and I just got to talk to somebody and get this thing straightened out, where should I go?
Okay, I and my chief of staff will be, my chief duty officer, I apologize, will actually be situated at Jamboree headquarters. Jamboree headquarters is the building right where C Camp meets D Camp on Loop Road. The Loop bus goes right by it.
Right.
Plenty of ways to get there. Walked right through the front door. We'll be sitting right there. We will answer your questions.
Tony, all that sounds great. I know you got a great team. Thank you, buddy, for everything you've done. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds
all right.
great.
Gary Schrader, Adventure.
Hey, Russell.
Hey, how'd it go today?
Doing great. Tell us about it. So we had a lot going on. We have 25 adventure areas. Want to make sure you hit them all. We've got a really seasoned staff that's ready to hit it, ready to deliver it, and ready to make it work for you guys. So we look forward to seeing you up in our area. Up at Shooting Sports, for example, we have over 1 million rounds of ammunition. So it's your job to make sure that we don't have any left when we're done. Over 1 million rounds. We need to see you up there at the shooting range. We have archery. We have the tracks, one of the biggest BMX tracks in the United States. We have one of the largest outdoor skate park in the United States. Up at the park, come around, we have the pools, great scuba diving, stand-up paddleboard, water reality. We have 5 huge icebergs. You got to see if you can get over them. See if you're good enough. We're going to post the times every night. So make sure you get a chance to check that out. We have kayaking up at Tri-Dave Lake. Some of your maps call it Bravo Lake. That's the same lake. So in addition to that, we have climbing both at Boulder Cove and up at the rocks. So get up there to either of those spots. We have special demonstrations at 9 a.m. and noon every day from Special Operations Forces from our military down at Boulder Cove. So it's Boulder Cove, 9 a.m. and noon every day. Make sure you hit those. That's definitely something that you want to see. And then, of course, we have the aerial sports, real popular. I'm going to talk about some of them in a minute. So one of the first things I want you to know about is our wait time part of the app. We've been working on this. One of our team wrote it. Shout out to Logan Eckert for putting this together. It's outstanding. Our staff is working on it. Check that out. It's very accurate information. It's going to tell you what the wait time is. If you see a long wait time in one area, don't spend a lot of time there. Check your wait time app and see where you can go in another area that doesn't have as long. You can walk anywhere here in half an hour to 45 minutes. Don't wait in the line for an hour and a half when you can go out and do all these other exciting activities that we have. Next thing I want to talk about is our aerial coins. We have these tokens. They're wooden nickels. Your scout leaders got them tonight. You may have yours already. Each troop has 6 big zip coins and 30 aerial coins. You have to have an aerial coin, one or the other, to do those activities. So scouts, put them in a zippered pocket. We had some scouts lose them today. Don't put them in your name badge with the little plastic holder. They're going to fall out. We don't have any extras. That's it. You have them. So take care of them. Put them in a zippered pocket. You're going to need it to do it. There's just a lot to choose from. Our canopy tours and our challenge courses are just outstanding. I want to put a pitch in for those. It's something to really take advantage of. So that's the aerial coins that we have, and that's something you want to do. So we have the big zip. We have the 2 zips on Summit Center. We have the Gateway and the Legacy one. We have 2 canopy setups. We have a set on Action Point. We have another set down at both the Canopy. They're both excellent and outstanding, and we have 2 different challenge courses, one at Action Point and the big one's up at the ropes. One up at the ropes is definitely bigger. I have a fun nickname I call it Ewok Village. You're going to be up in the trees the whole time. So a lot of fun. You definitely want to do that one. So definitely want to enjoy that. So that's the aerial part and the coins. If it rains and we get shut down on program because of lightning, it gets within 8 miles, then we're going to issue, if you're in line, didn't get programmed, issue an adventure pass. It's kind of like a way to get a shorter line next time. And we'll explain that when we give those out. I didn't have to do any of that today. Last thing I want to talk about today is the Troop Assistance Program. A lot of you adults offered in advance, about 400 or 500 of you, thank you, to come and help some of our program areas. So if you did, thank you, really appreciate it. If you didn't sign up, but you'd still like to help, or you're just an enthusiast for any of these program areas that we do, just stop by, ask for the Troop Assistance Coordinator in that area. They'll put you to work. You can pitch in, and we'll help you. You'll help us, and you might get a chance to have a little extra fun for putting your time in. So Russell, that's a quick summary of the many things we have going on. please come out and see us. We got 2,000 of the best volunteers you can imagine are just waiting for you guys to come and have fun at our sites. Have a great time at the Jamboree.
Gary, I've heard a lot of questions in the last week, and particularly as I talked to some unit leaders today, asking, do we have enough staff this time? Do we have enough staff?
We are 100% staffed in the adventure areas.
Fantastic.
We're really excited to say that. That doesn't mean there's not going to be lines, because we only have so much capacity, so many zip lines, for example, so many pieces of equipment, but we are 100% staffed. That will not be a limiting factor.
What did we learn today that the best advice to give to them from our experience
All right,
we learned
here's
today?
the best advice. Don't put your wooden nickel in
That's
your
it.
plastic case. That's it. Get out, have fun, learn the area. Saw a lot of scouts working the map, figuring it out. It was great to see. Get out, explore. We have a lot of areas. It's more than you can get your mind wrapped around. It's impossible to do everything we have during the time here. Don't waste a minute. Get out and do it.
And they can find everything on the official Jamboree app.
Everything is on the app. The maps, the locations, walking directions, and of course, the wait times. Don't miss the wait times.
Gary, thanks.
Thank you,
Adventure is going
Russell.
to be fantastic
All right,
this
look
year.
forward to seeing you
All
on
right.
adventure events.
Jeff Jonason, tell us about the Garden Ground Mountain Program, and then I know you're going to tell us about the Messengers of Peace Day of Service as well.
That too,
All right.
Russell. First, before I do, where were you at 5 a.m. this morning?
5 a.m. I was getting on a bus to come out here to the Jamboree with the first unit,
You were, once again, with the first unit. Well,
with the awesome guys of the Order of the Era.
That's right. So let me tell you a little bit about them. There's over 700 airmen working here on the Jamboree staff in what they call Operation Arrow. And one of the things they do every Jamboree is bring the troops in and lead them to their campsite and answer questions for them. But they're doing a lot of things throughout the week, and you'll see them everywhere performing service for the program areas, working as trek guides. We're going to talk about the trek in just a moment. Working, some adult airmen working with the medical team on the OA Medical Transport Corps. We've got a group of adults helping out with aerial sports, the OA Aerial Sports Team, and our traditional service corps, as I mentioned. So these guys, they're serving the Jamboree, doing a great job for us. So you'll see them out there in their blue shirts. Like they gave me this blue hat, so I'm
Looks
really,
good on you, buddy.
really proud to wear it. But one of the largest groups of those airmen are called the OA Trek Guides. And in 6 days at the Jamboree, on one of 6 days at the Jamboree, your troop will be able to enjoy the Jamboree trek to Garden Ground Mountain. So the Jamboree trek is not a difficult hike, but what will happen is in the morning around 7 a.m. at breakfast, a couple of airmen will show up at your campsite. They'll introduce themselves to your troop. They'll invite them to join them up the trail to Garden Ground Mountain. And once they get up the trail, up to the top of Garden Ground Mountain, they're going to learn a little bit along the way. But when they get up there, they're going to be able to enjoy things like, well, that's where the OA Indian Village is, that's where the pioneering program area is. We've got some Highland games, they can throw some cabers, and we've got Buckskin Village where they can shoot black powder rifles, throw hatchets, throw knives. There's a field sports area they can enjoy. There's a Silver Bay first scout camp. But new to the Jamboree this year, and we're really excited about it, is Spartan Race. Spartan Race, a lot of people may have seen it on television.
Sure.
They've got a show on every week right now. Those folks from Spartan Race have come out, and they're going to do some events here at the Summit this fall, and sort of an introduction to their program. They're going to present what Spartan Race is all about to Jamboree participants, and they've set up the most incredible obstacle course. The boys are going to love it. They're going to challenge them, probably get them a little bit dirty.
Right.
So don't expect them to come home clean. But they'll be able to enjoy all of these things on Garden Ground Mountain during their Jamboree Trek Day. And then at the end of the day, they'll come back down in time for dinner, and they will hopefully have enjoyed themselves. And maybe later in the week they might be able to go up. And one other thing about the Jamboree Trek, if you as adult leaders would rather maybe take the day off, go to the trading post, spend some time in the Summit Center looking around at exhibits, well, that OA guide is going to take care of your responsibilities for you, and you won't need to accompany your troop up.
Let the youth leadership do their job that day.
Exactly.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and the last thing I want to talk to you about, Russell, is the Messengers of Peace Day of Service. But rather than me telling you about it, let me just introduce you to Fred Hislop, who's going to come in, and he's put this program together again for this Jamboree. Fred.
Fantastic. Jeff,
Jeff.
thanks so much
Thank
for
you,
everything you're doing, buddy. Fred.
All right, so let me talk a little bit about today, the Messengers of Peace Day of Service.
On your mark.
Oh, on my mark.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
All right, so there's probably some of you out there wondering just what is this Messengers of Peace Day of Service. So the Day of Service is a day of service in the community, the 9-10 counties that surround the summit. And the way it will work is when you get up in the morning, you'll go up to either the stadium stairs
Right up above us.
or Jack's West Landing, and
Over
you'll get
there.
on a bus. And that bus will take you to your project. But it's a little more complicated than that. Along the way, you'll encounter these OA guys, and they'll greet you, and they will check you in, and they will give you a little tracker. It's a little blue device.
Right.
And we use that tracker so that we know where you're going. Those go on the buses, and we follow those buses on a command center that we have set up with the group that got our projects for us. Let me talk a little bit about how we get those projects. We partner with a group in Beckley called the CCC. They've spent the last 2 years soliciting the counties around here for projects, and all these projects have been looked at, vetted, and have been made sure that they're safe for scouting. So we make sure that they follow the guide to safe scouting. If they don't, or you don't believe they are, go on the app. We have posted on the app the guide to safe scouting, so use that as a guide to make sure that what they're asking you to do follows those guidelines. So let's say you're out there and you have an accident or an emergency. What do? Well, you do the normal things you would with your troop. If you can treat the accident, you would. If you can't, you call 911.
Right.
Every project is 911 accessible, and they're out there, they know we're coming,
Good.
so they're ready for that. We do have several projects that may fall outside of the GPS tracker.
Okay.
And in the event that you have one of those projects, you'll have a National Guard person on your bus with you, and he can communicate back if there's a problem. So we've made that accommodation. All right, once you come back, we have a little item for you to receive. We have this Code of Honor patch.
Not a patch,
A
Fred.
patch. It's been provided by the Navy. The Navy's provided us with these patches, and so when you get done, send a troop leader over to the Messengers of Peace Day of Service booth in the Duty to God tent
Right.
at the Summit Center, and he can retrieve those patches for you.
And do we have enough for everybody?
We have more than enough for everybody this time.
Great.
So nobody will go away without earning this patch.
Fantastic.
Or
If
the
you did
opportunity.
your Jamboree project en route to the Jamboree, can you still get a patch?
Yes, you can. Come by the booth.
Absolutely.
We know who you are, and you can get your patches.
Fantastic.
The other thing, we're in a social world, and so we encourage you to share everything about your projects while you can, and the CCC has also asked the same. This will be in your packet. So kids, if you want to post stuff on here, please do that. Let's see. The other thing that's very important is when you get on your bus, you'll get a packet, and in that packet is some information. What we need you to do first thing is call the CCC Command Center and tell them your troop number and your project number, and that way
Match them up.
Match them up. So on the big board, we watch all the buses go around. That way we can see you by troop number, not by some code on the tracker. So we want to know where the buses are. And last but not least, a little reminder is if this project seems trivial to you, it's very important to the people you're doing the project for.
Absolutely.
And other than that, have fun and be safe.
All right, so Fred, how many buses a day do we have going out on average doing day of service?
On average, 120 buses a day
Wow.
on 5 program days.
Wow, that's a lot of logistics.
And we had approximately 30 troops do their projects coming in counties that we don't reach from the summit.
Right. So what if I've decided, well, I don't like the day that they've scheduled me, I just want to go on another day? What's that going to do to us?
Well, that causes many issues because you also got a day garden ground tech, you got a day for rafting,
Right.
you got a day for STEM. So please come on the day and go to the location that we give you to get on your bus.
Stay on your schedule that you were assigned.
Correct.
If there's a problem, talk with our program liaison teams. We'll try and work it out, but stay on the schedule. Stay on the schedule.
Stay
That's
on the
very
schedule.
important.
Exactly.
Now, I know a lot of people say, well, is this really part of what a Jamboree ought to be about? Last time, as you well know, in 2013, when we introduced this program, what did people say about this when they got back?
When the people came back from this project, by far, that was the best thing they ever did at the Jamboree.
Fantastic. And a lot of people said, wow, how did you match us up with that particular project? It's all random, right?
That's right.
But it just works.
Works, yep.
Just works. Fred,
Yep.
you've
All right.
done a great job putting this together
Thank
with
you,
the
Russell.
CCC. Thank you for
All right.
everything
Everybody
you've done.
have fun and be safe.
Yeah.
Oh, one last reminder.
What's that?
Make sure you don't wear sandals or flip-flops.
Oh man, no.
Wear closed-toed shoes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. All right, so if you're not doing adventure, you're not doing garden ground, you're not doing rafting, you're not doing the garden ground trek or the day of service, we've still got what? Russ Hunsaker, come up here and tell us about the Scott Summit Center.
Absolutely.
exhibits.
Welcome to the Jamboree.
It's fantastic. So I'm glad to tell you about the Scott Summit Center, Russell. Very
Fantastic.
glad to do it. Hey, we've got 130 different activities at the Scott Summit Center, and it's going to be activity-based and hands-on for the full experience that you're going to be participating in. Hey, Russell, can I tell you about a couple of the activities we're involved with?
Yes, please.
Let's
please,
do.
Russ.
So we're going to start with our Duty to God and Country event. Come on down. We're in the middle of the summit with the Legacy Village in the Duty to God Country exhibit. You're going to be able to find all of the chartered organizations and faith-based groups that are sponsoring our troops. Russell, I know you like patches.
I do.
You do?
I like patches. I have to admit it.
You do. And you can come down and you can get your Duty to God Jamboree patch in the
Fantastic.
Summit Center. So that's
Fantastic.
great.
That's great.
Is it all right if I tell you some more, Russell?
I'm all ears, buddy.
Let's do it.
Tell me.
How about our Freedom Field and Freedom Trail?
Oh, the military. Tell me about the military.
Glad to. We are very thankful for the West Virginia National Guard. Very thankful.
Absolutely.
They've been leading our process here, but in the Freedom Field, here in the Summit Center, which I like to call the heart of the Summit.
It
Of the
is.
Summit.
It's the heartbeat.
It is. It's right here in the Freedom Field, here in the Summit. You're going to be able to go up, see a Bradley fighting vehicle, climb in it, Russell.
I can see it from here.
You can, right up on top of the
Right.
hill right there. You can climb inside that Bradley fighting vehicle. You can push the buttons and be fully engaged with
Wow.
it. If you'd like, you can go to the Nimitz exhibit.
Nice.
In the Nimitz exhibit, you're going to have the full naval experience. That's right there. Can't go wrong with that
Army,
whatsoever.
Navy.
Air Force and Marines.
How about it? Got
And
'em
one
all.
more, and the Coast Guard.
Yes, sir.
All
Got 'em
right
all.
there. So come up,
Fantastic.
involve with our active military service personnel. They'll have a great interaction up there.
So that must be all there is to do in Scott Summit
Not
Center.
even close.
Oh,
Not
man.
even close. I said 130.
Wow.
130 different activities that are there. So let's go on. How about if we go up to the action point? Have you ever wanted to go to Philmont? Have you ever thought about Sea Base? Have you ever thought about Northern Tier? Have you ever wanted to go to those?
I've thought about those a lot.
Come participate. We'll tell you all about them.
Fantastic.
How about if we talk about West Virginia with the West Virginia exhibit?
That's where we are.
It is. Come
Right.
learn more about the state that we're in and all the activities that are present. Participate in the West Virginia experience. It'll be fantastic. But
Wonderful.
I'm saving some of the best for last, though,
Tell me
Russell.
about it.
Some of the best for last. How about STEM Quest?
STEM Quest. That's a tech thing, right?
It is a tech thing.
Okay. What
Not only
about that?
you like to blow things up.
Oh, of course. Who doesn't? Every scout likes to blow things up.
Come up to STEM Quest on your scheduled day, and we'll
Absolutely.
have to be able to have the experience that's there. How about, do you like to fly drones with the Air Force?
If the Air Force says it's okay, I'm good with that.
They are good with it. It'll be in a cage. You'll be able to fly those drones.
Cool.
Hey, do you like robots?
I do.
Do you like to program robots?
Of course.
How do you like NASA?
NASA. Yes, I do.
You could then come program robots with NASA at STEM Quest.
Man,
Only if you want to.
I love it.
Okay, come on up.
What else?
So we can keep on going. Let's talk about, at this point, the Conservation Trail.
That too?
That too.
Oh, man.
Come on down the Conservation Trail. You're going to be able to see and understand how where it can be green and how we'll be able to support the great environment that we're living here at the summit and any other place that you're there. Work with the federal agencies. You can see the Forest Service. How about the Fish and Game? Smokey Bear, you
Right,
like him?
got it.
He's all
Yep.
right there. Pretty spectacular.
What's that little island thing I see out there on the lake?
Brown Sea Island. History of
Figures.
scouting.
Figures.
Yep. Come see the reenactment of what Lord Baden-Powell.
Yep.
Come see all the games that they played in the first Scout experience. It's all going to be there. You can interact with Baden-Powell himself
Nice.
if you'd like.
Nice. Scott, that sounds great, Russ. You've got, wow, 130 activities to do.
2 miles of activities
2
here.
miles.
2 miles.
Well, thank you for everything. Your team
Appreciate
has
it.
done a fantastic job of putting all this together.
Well, thanks, Russell.
I'm worn out, so it's time to go see a stadium show.
All right. Thank
Don
you, Russell.
Wendell, come up here and tell us about entertainment, stadium shows, all those sort of things.
Oh, I'm glad to do that.
All right.
Glad to do that. The Stadium Experience team is responsible for 34 events during the course of the Jamboree. We've got lunchtime fun. We've got base camp bashes. We've got the Jambo Palooza on Sunday afternoon, and right here at the AT&T Stadium we have 3 shows. So we're going to kick things off tomorrow, Thursday, with our lunchtime fun. Lunchtime fun is an opportunity for the scouts to sit down, relax, enjoy their lunch, and then be entertained while they're out in various locations throughout the Jamboree.
Fantastic.
So we're bringing the lunchtime fun to where the Scouts are. So tomorrow's lunchtime fun is at 12 points.
12 points.
It's at Garden Ground.
Garden Ground.
And it's at STEM.
STEM. Fantastic.
So lunchtime fun during the day. Then in the evening is the Base Camp Bash at Foxtrot. Now the Base Camp Bash is an opportunity for the Scouts and their leaders in that particular base camp to get together for music. We've got giveaways and all kinds of fun games and activities. So we hope everyone will come out, participate, and take part in those bashes that we have at each of the base camps. Foxtrot's tomorrow. Check your Jamboree app. I believe there's an app.
There is an
yes,
app.
that
We'll hear
Jamboree app.
more about that in a minute.
We'll have all of the information as to when the base camp bash will be located at your particular base camp. And then on Saturday is the first of our stadium events, and that will be the Celebration of Scouting show to kick off the Stadium Experience events right here at the AT&T Stadium.
Wonderful.
It's going to be a blast.
I know it is.
And one of the things that we would like for the troops to do is to wear something that reflects their hometown or their home state. In other words, dress to impress, because we're going to make that part of the show. So leaders, if you would, have your kids, and hopefully you had that information before you got here, wear something that reflects your hometown or your home state.
So you're from Circle 10, which is Texas, so I'm thinking
I'm thinking
what?
a cowboy hat might work
Cowboy
for
hat,
Texas.
exactly.
Yeah, and if there's some people from Wisconsin, maybe that cheese head
cheese
thing
head
that
thing?
they wear.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so hopefully we're planning to do that. And you can certainly improvise, and you've got time to make your own if you did not bring anything with you.
And that's Saturday.
That's Saturday night. Now, one of the questions that we get all the time is who is the entertainment? Who is going to be performing? We've heard that time and time again. Lots of good guesses.
Right.
Lots of really good guesses. Would you like to know?
I don't know. I
know,
honestly
but-
don't know. Who is the entertainment? Will you tell me?
You will find out when that group or that person walks on
You
the
are
stage
tough, Don.
Saturday
You're
night.
tough.
Saturday night, that's right. But I can tell you one thing, and you can tell your Scouts this, leaders, they will know who it is. They will be impressed. They're going to think, wow, this is just incredible. So the stadium show on Saturday night is going to be a fantastic event. So we hope everyone participates, be an active part, because you're going to be part, the Scouts will be stars of our shows. Not only that one, but the other shows that we have.
So we've got 3 shows.
That's right. There's the Saturday night show I just mentioned.
Saturday
We've
night.
got another one on Monday and then one on Thursday. And again, the app will have all kinds of information about the details, the times, everything you need to know to come and enjoy the stadium show to the fullest. So let me say, on behalf of the 180 Stadium Experience team members, including my favorite band, which is the Jamboree Band, we want to wish you a great Jamboree, and we look forward to seeing you at all of our activities and our events.
Don, thanks again. Great job.
You bet, Russell.
For all you've done. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Now everybody's been talking about this app that if you need to know something, it's on the app. Andrew Miller, come up here and tell us about the official Jamboree app powered by AT&T.
Thanks, Russell, and thanks to all of you who are watching for all the effort that you've taken over the last year or so to plan your Jamboree experience and to work with your Scouts as they do theirs. And we know that because we've been watching you as you've downloaded the app. Not in a creepy way, but in just watching the download count come up. You know, a week ago we only had 20,000 downloads. We're at 35,000 now. So wow. We know that mom and dad have downloaded copies, or a bunch of you brought like a double phone or something, and we're just super excited that you're going to be using the app to guide your Jamboree adventure. So a couple things about that app. First, we have weather alerts on there. So if any of you are curious about how to get the weather alerts, we have these notifications. You have to opt into them. The way that you do that is you go into settings and you choose your interest groups. There's one called inclement weather.
Right.
They'll be shooting out information about thunderstorm alerts, lightning alerts, and they will also be sending out the heat advisories, but only when they're red and black. So if you didn't get one today, it's because the Summit Operations Center didn't go above yellow, which is fantastic. Moving here to the mountains certainly is cooler than Fort AP Hill.
But keep drinking that water no matter what the heat advisory level is.
Absolutely. Staying hydrated is important. If you're in the hospital, it's hard to use the app, and that would not be a appy occurrence. So that's the weather alerts. Different app to talk about briefly, Pokemon Go. For those of you who enjoy playing, I think you'll be very excited by what we have here at the Summit, and I'll leave it to you to find out about it, but just wanted to to plug that great game board that we have
The guys
here.
that do that, they will know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It.
Yeah, don't ask me. There are 3 key features of the app. We've talked about the notifications. You can also look at your activities. We have over 220 activities listed in the app. You can favorite as many of them as you'd like. We also have, at this point now, over 400 individual schedule items, different events and adventures that you can attend. And we have a video in the video section that tells you how to save those for easy reference later. Don't scroll through all 400 things over and over again to find the one that you want. Save it, and then that'll just save time so you can get on your journey. We have a frequently asked questions list. I really liked Tony's advice of what would a millennial do when faced with app questions, but if there's not one around, maybe it's in the middle of the day and they're all out doing program, check out the frequently asked questions in the app support section on the second homepage. Walking directions, we have walking directions in the map. They're powered by Google, which means that you have to be connected to the internet in order to use them. A lot of the help desk requests we get about those are from folks who aren't connected to the internet. When you see the walking directions, just make sure to use common sense, correlate them with the maps as well. You know, the standard thing that you would do if you were planning a long journey and just wanted to make sure that was really going to take that amount of time and that was the best route.
Because some of the roads and the trails are parallel, and if you just look, you might think you need to walk on the road, but what?
The trail's always the better option.
Right,
it's
exactly.
shaded, there's less dust, like
excellent.
The trail, you know. I'd say, you know, be prepared when you think about the app. You know, a lot of us come from city, metropolitan environments where cellular service is plentiful and Wi-Fi is all around. That might not be the case depending on your carrier in some of our further afield areas. So if you're going to leave the Scott Summit Center, if you're going to leave your base camp, be prepared. The documents section, any of those documents, once you view them, once they're cached on your device. Within Maps, we have a PDF Maps section. That's cached on your device. So don't go far afield, find that you have poor cell service, and then not be able to access the information that you need in order to make the most of your day. And Russell, I just can't say thank you enough to all of you who have helped us with this app. We have gotten your bug reports, your feature requests, and we really appreciate that engagement as we all worked together to make the 2017 National Jamboree mobile app powered by AT&T the best that it can be. And I'm just grateful for that.
Now, what if I have a suggestion about a new button or a new feature or something for the app? What about that?
You know, the folks building the 2019 and 2021 Jamboree mobile apps will be really grateful for that feedback, and I would be delighted to pass it on to them, because there's no time like the present for coming up with good ideas. And Russell, you also reminded me about one of those features that was suggested by a Scoutmaster from the last Jamboree, and that's Where's My Group? We've had a lot of interest in that, judging from your help requests, but none of them came in today, and I'm thinking that maybe it's all making sense once you got to the Jamboree. Just remember, it's a really unstructured feature. We're not assigning anything. We're not assigning groups. We're not assigning identifiers. The goal is to keep track of people that you know, and you can stop it at any time by deleting your identifier or leaving all of your groups. We hope that you're able to use it to meet up with friends during your daily Jamboree activities, and that you just find it a fun way to keep in touch with the new people that you've met here.
And there is some limitations on that Where's My Group thing, right, Andrew?
Absolutely. If you are beyond 3 miles from the center of the Summit Bechtel Reserve, you're not going to see anything. It won't record your location, it won't show your location. So unfortunately for parents at home, they're not going to be able to use the feature, but we just thought that was the best decision given the fact that we're tracking folks.
Absolutely. Well, Andrew, you've done an amazing job. You, Logan Eckert, who did the wait time feature, and that's integrated into the app.
Absolutely.
So what if I don't have a smartphone? I don't have one, but I really want to know the wait time. I want to get that information. Is there any alternate way to do that?
Absolutely. Couple different ways to get that wait time information. The first is that we do have it on a video screen up at the Scott Visitor Center.
Right.
The second is we have a web app. For those of you who have an incompatible device, you can just go to 2017jambo.org/app. You can also go to 2017jambo.org/wait times, and you will be able to find that list there. It's really important to know before you go, and we've been been working really hard to make sure that those wait times are accessible and visible by all of our participants.
Andrew, thanks again, buddy.
Thanks a bunch,
Sounds
Russell.
fantastic. We'll see you soon, right?
Looking forward to it, yeah.
Okay.
On the app.
So we've shared a lot of information tonight, a lot of information coming at you real fast, but we don't want to take too much of your time, but we do want you to hear this important information. I hope this has been helpful to you. Maybe you've known most of it. That's fantastic. But we shared some tips that we couldn't tell you before we got here because we didn't know what was going to happen. So we're welcome for questions. Tony and I talked earlier about how to get your questions answered, how to get your problem solved. We want this to be the best Jamboree ever for you and all of your scouts and venturers. Glad you're here to live Scouting's Adventure with us. Over my shoulder in Charlie Base Camp, in Delta over there, Alpha Bravo and Foxtrot up on the Venturers Knoll up there, our scouts are probably beginning to wrap up their event where they've been introduced to the Jamboree Passport system. We're excited about this. This is brand new. Best I know, we've never done this at a Jamboree. This passport is going to be a great way for your scouts and venturers to keep track of what they've done at this Jamboree. Take some memories home. They can write about their experiences as a journal. They can talk with and interview other people and write information there. They can collect stamps from 30 different locations in and all around the Jamboree. So please, please encourage your scouts to use the passport, and you got one too as a unit leader, so you should use it as well, and you can do the same things. And at the end of the Jamboree, the passport program and some other things will allow you as a unit leader and your scouts and venturers to earn the special Jamboree Participation Award. So that's about it for program. 9:30, we have our first telecast of Jamboree tonight. And as I close, I want to thank, great big shout out to Ed Lyons and his fantastic team that have put all of this together. This is brand new for the Jamboree to have these live stream telecasts at the start of the Jamboree and then every night 9:30 to about 10 after the other events are over. And it's our way to keep up and tell you what happened that day and tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. Ed's got a great team. He started out with Staff Link, then we introduced Leader Link and then Jambo Link, and now here we are, and it's all live, and we're glad that you're here to share it with us. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Have a great Jamboree. Live Scouting's Adventure. Good night.